And I would like each of the panellists to give a closing statement, if they can, short and brief. What single or more, can be more than one, but briefly, what nutritional message from your field of research would you want people to hear before they leave here today? Manny, lucky first. What really one big message would you like this audience, this lovely audience, to hear?
Gosh, that's a tough question, Bob. Food is very much a moving feast. What we call food today will be different in many years to come, and is very different from what it was. And we need to keep an open mind about the way that our food systems need to develop, particularly in an era of climate change and population growth.
Well, we'll go back to the 4 food groups. I think eat a very varied diet. I think we see many problems where you have a very monotonous diet that goes from elderly and that goes down to children too. I think a monotonous diet poses nutritional risk. I think it should be varied. I think also I would like to make a pitch for eating foods that will establish the right microflora in our gastrointestinal tract, which we haven't touched upon here. I think that starts in early life in infants, and it's important in all age groups. And some of the novel research now emphasizes that the little bugs in our stomach and intestine may have more implications for nutrition and health than we ever envisioned before.
Thank you. Maria.
I would just like to say that I don't think there are any magic bullets in nutrition, and coming back to eating a variety of foods and a little bit of everything in moderation.
Yeah, I think I'd like to say 2 things. One is to reaffirm that if you read the newspapers in America, and I assume it's the same in Australia, every day we have some other nutritional fad issue, and it's different from what it was last week, and it's somebody else's, another newspaper has a different take on it. The fundamental principles of nutrition really haven't changed in the last 50 years. The real messages, which is you can maintain nutrient adequacy by eating a variety of foods, you maintain your health by being physically active and, leading certain healthy lifestyles, you eliminate the things that are known to do you in, like smoking. None of these things have changed in all that time, despite all the newspaper and magazines and TV, discussions about them. So I think that is the original and important message. The other one that I want to make is that we've learned that there's perhaps one of the most important things we can do for all society in the next, generations is to make sure that young girls, have adequate nutrition, because we know for sure when they go into pregnancy, when they become pregnant, that the health of, women produce healthy babies, that there are significant consequences of not having healthy babies for obviously the subsequent generation. So it's a priority area to make sure that we have, nutritionally adequate and not obese, women who enter pregnancy with good nutritional status.
Jenny.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Eat food. Eat for your well-being, not for weight loss.
Whew. Short. Beat that, Peter Agathe.
Well, I'm not going to try. I did have one. I think I have 2. Picking up on what Denny is saying, I think we must increasingly be aware that we don't. Women should not feed just for their pregnancy. They should feed throughout their pre-reproductive and whole reproductive years, with the insight in mind that if they are going to reproduce, they need to be adequately nourished between pregnancies, not necessarily just when they are pregnant. And the other thing is that if a certain amount does one good, and if enough is enough, having more of it may almost certainly not do so.
Thank you very much, Peter. Well, that winds it all up. And before we leave, I just want to thank you for your participation, for coming out and attending here. We're probably going to have another event like this next year, and maybe having more of them. and so you'll have the possibility of addressing more of your questions. So it just remains for me to thank the panellists, and will you join me in thanking them?